You take supplements to improve your health, but what if some of them are secretly destroying your kidneys? I've seen patients rush to dialysis after taking supplements they thought they were completely safe. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm Dr. Sean Hashmi, board-certified nephrologist and obesity medicine specialist. And on this channel, we talk about everything related to kidney health, general health, wellness, and longevity. And today, I'm exposing the dangerous truth about supplements that damage kidneys. And this is all backed by evidence, and you can see the references in the description as well as in the comments. Now, this isn't about fear-mongering. It's about protecting your health with evidence that could save your kidneys from irreversible damage. By the end of this video, you'll know which common supplements are kidney killers, the exact mechanisms of how they damage kidney tissues, how to identify these hidden dangers in products you might have lying around in your medicine cabinet, and most importantly, how to protect yourself while still getting the benefits you need. Before we dive in, let me emphasize that not all supplements are harmful. In fact, I have an entire video on supplements that might be beneficial for kidney health, which I'll link in the description below. However, as someone who has treated thousands of kidney patients for over 15 years, I've seen firsthand how certain supplements can accelerate kidney damage. They can trigger acute kidney failure in otherwise healthy people. They can cause irreversible scarring of kidney tissues, and they can lead to the need for dialysis or kidney transplantation. The supplement industry remains poorly regulated, and many products contain ingredients that haven't been adequately tested for safety in people who have existing kidney concerns. Let's explore the science behind what's safe and what's not. Let's start with arguably the most dangerous kidney toxin found in supplements, Aristolochic acid. This is found in herbs such as guangfangji. I might be saying that incorrectly, so please, if I'm saying that incorrectly, forgive me and let me know how to say it correctly. But it's specifically referring to Aristolochia fangshi. The other one is mutong, is Caulis aristolochii. Then there's various birthwort remedies, and there are some traditional Chinese medicine formulations. Think of Aristolochic acid like a saboteur that sneaks into your kidney cells and plants explosive devices directly on your DNA. These DNA adducts are ticking time bombs that eventually trigger mutations. They cause both immediate damage and dramatically increase your risk of cancer down the road. The mechanism of damage is particularly concerning. Aristolochic acid works through a three-stage attack. First, it gets metabolized by cytochrome P450 enzymes into highly reactive compounds. Second, these compounds bind directly to your DNA, creating what we call DNA adducts. And finally, this triggers mutations, progressive scarring of kidney tissue, and dramatically increases the risk of urothelial cancer by 50-fold in exposed populations. A comprehensive review of case reports from 1996 to 2016 published in Food and Chemical Toxicology identified these herbs as significant contributors to a condition called Aristolochic acid nephropathy. The stats are quite alarming, to say the least. Over 60% of cases progress to end-stage kidney disease. Most patients eventually require dialysis or transplantation, and up to 40% develop urothelial cancers years after exposure. Now, question for all of you. Have you ever seen these herbs listed in supplements you've taken? They're sometimes hidden under names like birthwort or included in traditional medicine formulations that may not have proper label. Now, let's talk about black licorice. Yes, the candy, as well as licorice root supplements. This might surprise you, but black licorice contains glycyrrhizin, which is metabolized to glycyrretinic acid. Now, imagine your kidneys have a carefully balanced system of gates that control sodium and potassium levels in your body. Glycyrretinic acid is like a hacker that disrupts the security system. It forces the gates to stay open for sodium and closed for potassium. The result? Dangerous imbalances that lead to high blood pressure, sodium retention, and low potassium, and this creates significant stress on your kidneys. Here's how glycyrrhizin damages kidney function. It inhibits an enzyme called 11-beta-hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase type 2, also known as 11-beta-HSD2. This leads to a condition called pseudo-hyperaldosteronism. And the key feature of this condition is dangerous potassium loss, salt retention, and high blood pressure. And these effects, they combine to create significant stress on kidney tissues. Now, here's something most people don't realize. Red licorice doesn't contain glycyrrhizin. It's typically flavored with other substances like anise or artificial flavors. So if you enjoy the occasional licorice candy, the red variety doesn't pose the same risk to your kidneys, and this was confirmed by a 2023 comprehensive review published in Nutrients. The danger comes from licorice root supplements, traditional black licorice candy, and licorice teas and extracts. Case reports show that consuming as little as 50 grams of black licorice daily for just 2 weeks can cause significant electrolyte imbalances and kidney stress in susceptible people. Several herbal supplements have also been documented to cause kidney damage. Let's examine 3 particularly concerning examples. Number 1 is St. John's wort, Hypericum perforatum. Now, this is commonly used for depression and mood disorders. It interacts with cytochrome P450 enzymes in the liver. It alters how your body metabolizes many medications and can significantly increase nephrotoxicity when combined with other drugs. Think of St. John's wort as a chameleon in your body. When you take it alongside other medications, it changes how your liver processes these drugs, sometimes dramatically increasing their concentration to toxic levels that damage kidney tissues. Now, this isn't a direct attack. It's more like changing the rules of the game without telling the other players. Number 2 is Thunder God vine, Tripterygium wolfordi. This contains a compound called triptolide. Now, triptolide generates harmful reactive oxygen species in kidney tissues. It triggers apoptosis, which is programmed cell death in kidney tubular cells, and it causes rapid kidney function decline. In simple terms, triptolide essentially creates harmful free radicals that attack kidney cells and essentially activates cellular suicide switches, causing healthy kidneys to essentially self-destruct. A 2018 study in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology found that this can lead to rapid decline in kidney function within weeks of regular use. And number 3 is wormwood. Wormwood contains a neurotoxic compound called thujone. Now, this causes nephrotoxicity through oxidative stress. It damages the mitochondria, remember that's the powerhouse of the cells, and it leads to energy failure inside kidney cells. Thujone, now once again I may be saying it incorrectly, so correct me, damages the cellular power plants, the mitochondria inside your cells. It leads to energy failure and oxidative damage. Without properly functioning mitochondria, kidney cells, they just can't maintain their critical filtration functions. So these supplements are particularly concerning because they're often marketed for conditions like depression, arthritis, digestive issues, but they don't have warning about potential kidney effects. And this was highlighted in a 2021 review published in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences. Even vitamins can harm your kidneys when taken in excessive amounts. This is an example of more is not better when it comes to supplements. Now take a moment and check your medicine cabinet or supplement shelf right now. Do you have vitamin supplements with doses that exceed 100% of daily value? If so, you're going to want to pay close attention to this section. Let's look at 3 vitamins that can cause serious kidney damage when taken in excessive amounts. First off is vitamin A. High doses can lead to hypervitaminosis A. This causes kidney or renal interstitial fibrosis and nephritis. Now, it works through direct toxic effects on renal tubular cells. it generates damaging oxidative stress in kidney tissues. So when vitamin A builds up to its excessive levels, it's like pouring too much oil in your car engine. It creates inflammation and scarring in the kidney's filtration system. Research shows that doses exceeding 10,000 international units daily for extended periods can increase the risk of kidney damage by 40% in susceptible individuals. Vitamin C. Now, vitamin C is great in normal amounts, but excessive amounts can convert to oxalate in your body, and that can form calcium oxalate crystals in the renal tubules. And this can lead to oxalate nephropathy and kidney stones. So think of excessive vitamin C like pouring too much sugar in water. Eventually, it can't dissolve anymore and it starts to form crystals. In your kidneys, these oxalate crystals are like tiny shards of glass that can damage delicate kidney tissues and form painful stones. Studies show that doses exceeding 2,000 milligrams per day can increase the risk of kidney stones by up to 30% in susceptible individuals. Vitamin D. Excessive amounts of vitamin D can cause hypercalcemia or high blood calcium. This can lead to nephrocalcinosis, which is calcium deposits in the kidneys, and lead to progressive kidney failure if it's not addressed. Now, the risk increases with both the dose and the duration of how long you're on it. So basically, too much vitamin D, it causes calcium to flood into your bloodstream. This excess calcium can then deposit in your kidneys, essentially creating a calcification process similar to hard water building up in pipes. Research indicates that doses exceeding 4,000 international units daily without medical supervision can increase the risk of calcium-related kidney damage by 20 to 35% over time. For context, look, I'm not talking about the amounts that are found in a regular multivitamin, but rather high-dose supplements that are often marketed for immune boosting or other health benefits. And the key warning signs of vitamin-induced kidney tissue damage are unexplained fatigue, changes in urination patterns, back pain near the kidneys, swelling in ankles, feet, or hands, and nausea or vomiting. Let's talk about creatine and protein supplements, which have been surrounded by some kidney health misconceptions. So let me clarify based on recent research. Creatine. Creatine supplementation generally considered safe for individuals with normal kidney function and those with kidney disease and could be very helpful in dialysis patients for muscle cramps. Multiple studies have shown no adverse effects on kidney function at recommended doses of 3 to 5 grams per day. Now, they may falsely elevate creatinine levels without actually harming the kidneys. And so this requires careful consideration in specific kidney populations. And of course, if you're going to go and do your blood test, you got to make sure you're off creatine for several days so that it doesn't affect your blood creatinine levels. Now, here's something that might surprise you. Despite years of warnings about creatine and kidney damage, there's a comprehensive 2023 review published in Nutrients, and it's titled, "Is it time for a retcon for creatine supplementation-induced kidney failure?" Because in the study, they found virtually no evidence that creatine damages healthy kidneys. The confusion really around creatine comes from what I call a laboratory quirk. You see, creatine converts to creatinine in the body, and creatinine is the marker that doctors like myself use to assess your kidney function. So taking creatine supplements raises creatinine levels, and this can create false concerns about kidney damage when none actually exists. So a 2021 review in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition, it concluded that the predominance of scientific evidence indicates that creatine supplementation appears to be safe when taken at recommended doses. However, there are specific kidney conditions where creatine is contraindicated. Polycystic kidney disease. Animal studies showed that it may accelerate cyst growth. So creatine supplementation is contraindicated in polycystic kidney disease. When you have patients who are at advanced chronic kidney disease but not yet on dialysis, you have to be very cautious because fluid retention from creatine, changes in fluid volume, could push the person over onto dialysis or not. And it could affect other medications like the impact of diuretics. So you have to be very cautious, and we don't recommend it. Kidney conditions where monitoring is very, very critical. For example, heart failure patients or cardiorenal patients. That's where it becomes very important. If you have uncontrolled hypertension or uncontrolled diabetes, we would not recommend creatine supplementation until those things are fully addressed. So for anyone with these conditions, remember, creatine supplementation could make things worse or complicate what your healthcare team is trying to do to help you with these kidneys. With high protein supplements, while protein isn't itself directly toxic to kidneys, excessive protein intake does increase the kidney's workload, and that can accelerate damage in already compromised kidneys. Remember, when you consume protein, your body breaks it down into waste products. And these waste products, your kidneys must filter out. It's like adding more trash to your waste management system. Healthy kidneys handle this fine, but damaged ones may actually struggle. And the risk for those with kidney disease includes increased nitrogenous waste products, urea, creatinine, higher glomerular filtration pressure, metabolic acid load that damaged kidneys can't efficiently process. So research suggests that protein intake exceeding 1.3 grams per kilogram per day of body weight, that's ideal, may accelerate kidney function decline in people with pre-existing kidney disease. So once again, 1.3 grams per kilogram per day is for the absolute upper limit for people with kidney disease. The takeaway: creatine appears safe for most people with normal kidney function, but should be avoided in the specific condition I've mentioned above. High protein supplementation in people with underlying kidney disease requires caution in all forms of kidney disease. And remember, in advanced stages of kidney disease, the requirement for protein intake is significantly lower, 0.6 to 0.8 grams per kilogram per day. And for both creatine and protein, make sure you talk to your dietitian and your nephrologist to find out what's right for you. Ginseng and echinacea, they deserve special mention here because they have complex risk profiles that differ from the other supplements we've discussed. Ginseng is generally recognized for protective effects against kidney damage. It contains beneficial compounds called ginsenosides. Now, paradoxically, there are isolated reports of nephrotoxicity or kidney damage with people using ginseng. So what gives? Well, it turns out the most adverse effects were likely due not to ginseng, but to contamination or adulteration. So what's fascinating about ginseng is in its pure form, it actually shows renal protective effects in most studies. The problem comes from products that are contaminated or mislabeled. And a 2023 study in Frontiers in Pharmacology found that up to 30% of commercially available ginseng supplements contain adulterants or contaminants that could potentially harm kidneys. The potential issues with ginseng include product contamination with nephrotoxic substances, adulteration with undisclosed ingredients, variable potency and composition, potential interaction with medications. And then when we turn over to echinacea, echinacea is also generally considered safe for most people, and it's known for its immune stimulating properties. But it may cause kidney damage in specific populations, and those populations are the ones who have autoimmune kidney disorders or those who are post-kidney transplant. So echinacea stimulates your immune system, which can be helpful for fighting colds, but potentially problematic if you have an autoimmune condition or kidney disease with an inflammatory component. In these cases, It's almost like you're adding fuel to a fire that's already burning. So the risks with echinacea include potentially worsening of immune-mediated kidney diseases, increased inflammatory response in susceptible individuals, possible allergic reactions in sensitive people, and medication interactions, particularly immunosuppressants. So research indicates that approximately 5 to 7% of individuals with autoimmune-related kidney conditions may actually experience worsening of symptoms with regular echinacea use. These examples, they highlight why quality matters tremendously when choosing supplements. So if you're going to pick somebody or some company for, let's say, ginseng, it's really important that you source from reputable manufacturer with strong quality controls. You look for third-party testing and certification. You check for transparent ingredient lists without proprietary blends. And you discuss with healthcare providers, especially with those folks who have existing kidney issues. Now that we've covered the potentially harmful supplements, let me give you some practical strategies to protect your kidneys. Number one, always disclose all supplements to your healthcare providers. Many doctors won't ask unless you bring them up. Even natural supplements can interact with medications. And it's a good idea to bring the actual bottles to appointments when possible. Include dosages and how long you've been taking them. Number two, be particularly cautious with these high-risk categories. Herbal supplements, especially from unregulated sources. Products claiming to cleanse or detox the kidneys. High-dose individual vitamins exceeding 100% of their daily value. Supplements with proprietary blends that don't disclose all the ingredients. Products that are making dramatic health claims. Supplements that are manufactured outside of regulatory oversight. Number three, research before taking any supplement. Check for kidney-related warnings in specific literature. Go to kidney.org. Verify quality through third-party testing. Look for USP or NSF certification. Search scientific databases like PubMed for safety information. If you can't find legitimate safety data, consider that a red flag. Number four is monitor your kidney function regularly, because if you're taking any of these supplements, you want to be able to pick up on changes. So request periodic basic metabolic panels from your doctor. Pay attention to creatinine and eGFR values. Watch for changes over time, not just single readings. Consider more frequent testing if you have risk factors: diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, excess weight, any of those. You want to make sure you're checking those numbers a lot more carefully. And then know the warning signs of kidney problems. Well, what are they? Changes in urination pattern, frequency, color, foam, swelling, especially in ankles, feet, or around the eyes, fatigue that can't be explained by other factors, shortness of breath or nausea that doesn't have any obvious causes, metallic taste in the mouth, or ammonia breath odor. Remember, natural doesn't automatically mean it's safe, especially when it comes to your kidneys. According to a 2013 study published in the American Journal of Kidney Diseases, approximately 20% of chronic kidney disease patients regularly use supplements that could potentially harm their kidneys, often without even realizing the risks. So here's a question for everyone. What supplements are you currently taking, and have you discussed them with your healthcare provider? I would love to know in the comments below. And also, does your healthcare provider, your nephrologist, regularly talk to you about these supplements? Now, to summarize what we've covered, here are the key supplements to approach with caution for kidney health. So the most dangerous supplements for kidney function: Aristolochic acid containing herbs because they cause DNA damage and cancer. Black licorice and licorice root, they disrupt electrolyte balance, hold on to sodium, get rid of potassium, raise blood pressure. Thunder God vine, they will trigger kidney cell death or apoptosis. St. John's wort, they have dangerous medication interactions. Wormwood can damage kidney cell energy production or mitochondria. Excessive amounts of vitamins A, C, or D, Each one of them has a toxic mechanism. High-dose creatine and protein for those in specific instances like polycystic kidney disease for creatine, and for protein for people with underlying chronic kidney disease to go above 1.3 grams per kilogram per day, or in advanced stages, really to be going above 0.8. Then there's contaminated ginseng products because they have quality issues of adulterants and contaminants added on. Echinacea for those who have autoimmune kidney conditions. Remember, and this is really important for me to emphasize one more time, that this information isn't meant to scare you away from all supplements. Rather, it's about making informed decisions based on scientific evidence. Many supplements can be beneficial when used appropriately, and I covered many helpful ones in the previous video. You can see the link to it in the description. The 3 takeaways I want you to remember is quality matters tremendously. Choose reputable brands with third-party testing. 2, more is not better. Stick to recommended dosages, especially with vitamins. And 3, always disclose supplements to healthcare providers. They are part of your treatment plan. As always, if you found this information valuable, please hit that like button, the subscribe button for more evidence-based kidney health content. And if you missed my previous video on beneficial supplements for kidney health, check the link in the description. As always, I want to thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I always end the videos the same way, to say the best thing you can do is to express kindness to others and to express kindness to yourself by taking care of yourself through sleep, exercise, love, and food. Thank you for your faith in me. Thank you for your support in this channel. And I'll see everybody next time.